Okay, I'm going to be a little redundant from the last meeting, but actually I'm going to be a little more detailed. Talk about the projects, and this month I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, or this meeting a little bit more, just a little bit more detail, not much. But before I do that, I just want to say that a little bit about the ministry. We do a lot of building, and we say this, you'll probably hear this a couple of times on the trip, but it's not a building ministry per se. Even though we do a lot of building, I mean, you guys are like me, I like to build things. I mean, the fact that I'm a general contractor, partner, I mean, I probably still would like to build things even if I wasn't that kind of a person, okay? So it's not a building ministry, but we do a lot of building. All the projects that we do are considered projects, as including feedings, carnivals, puppet shows. Those are all projects. Because of the circumstances in the border, Mexico side this year, some of the problems they're having, we're doing larger projects, putting more guys on one project rather than a lot of different projects, okay? It makes it a lot easier for me. And plus, the advantage is that we're not running all over the place. You know, we're wanting to eliminate a lot of the moving around, okay? The projects are all picked when we're on the scouting trip. We look at these projects like in, for example, Del Rio with Pat selling down there. He shows us the projects, and after that, we've looked at the project, spent a day or 2 days there, whatever it takes. Before we leave that area, we pretty much know what projects we're going to do, okay, in that area, for the most part. We don't have time to go back. I mean, there have been times we've had to go back to those locations because we find out we didn't have enough projects to keep the guys busy. So anyway, that's how we pick our projects. We meet with different individuals like Nelson Iso, Burkett, and Ray Hansen, and so on. Each project is going to have a group leader, also going to have an assistant. So, I mean, don't feel like you've got to be a construction guy to be of any value. Every person here is value, okay? I'm pretty learned at what I do, but if I'm the only guy on the job, it's going to take a while. You know what I'm saying? So I need you and you need me, okay? So don't feel that you have no value because you're not in construction. Besides this, that will give you guys a great chance. It's like flying there, to get out behind the desk and do something worthwhile. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see, each pastor. Oh, one of the things we asked, we like to share as much as we can with the pastors, homeowners, whatever we're doing. And so the things that we asked them, we kind of a compromise, kind of figured out that this was kind of a thing that they can do. They're good at masonry, concrete, blocks, stuff like that. So we basically asked them to put in the footings and put the block, whatever they're going to do that. And I work with them via email with Pat down or whoever, telling them basically what I need to have done. And then they develop the pad. Okay, the pad is everything, the ground, the grade in between the block. It has to be put in, compacted. So when the prep team gets there, and I'll go into it a little bit later, what we do on the prep team is a part of what we do in that project. We pour the slab. Okay, they don't pour the slab because we're better at pouring slabs than they are. You know. So anyway, this is their part. It's a small part on their part, but it's an important part, okay? And then the other thing along with that is that when we're on a project, like for example, like one of the churches, we used to start out like 20, 25 people. We encourage the pastor to be a part of that, anybody in the congregation. I mean, if you have to give up your tools to a person that goes to that church and help him stay busy, it's his church, okay? So that's what we want to realize. We're building a church for them, but it's their church too. We want to involve them as much as possible, okay? All right, so the project, starting in Acuna, first place Doug talked about, we have 4 projects, actually 3 large projects and a smaller project. I'll do the last one first. Elise's house, last year we built a house for Pat's sister, Elise, and we didn't stucco the exterior, okay, because that's something I felt that they could do. Well, it turns out that because of probably lack of finances, not ability, that they weren't able to plaster the outside of the house. We dried it, laughed it in, protected it. On all the projects, we always like to leave them where they're protected, okay? It's not necessarily a goal to finish a project, I mean, all the way down to the paint stage. You know, a lot of times we'll maybe just do the framing and the roofing and shell it in and get it all dry and protect it on the outside, put the windows and doors and that kind of thing. And that's the least far we go with the project, okay? There's 2 churches, they're 28 by 54. If you worked on, I can't think of the pastor last year, but his church was 58 by 54. So we're doing church this year for Pastor Juan and actually also Pastor Hugo. They're both identical churches for the most part, and there are 2 different locations in the city of Acuna. Pastor Juan's church, we're going to take it through its entirety. Okay, when I say that means we're going to be insulating inside, drywalling. We always wire the inside. We like to make sure the wiring's all done. But on his particular church, like the last 2 we've done in the last 2 years, we're going to insulate, drywall the lid. We build a vaulted ceiling, not a flat ceiling, kind of open it up a little bit. So we're going to do all of that for his church. And Pastor Hugo's church, the plan there is to just shell it in, you know, side to outside, put the roof on, do the wiring, and that's as far as we're going to go with that church, okay? It's possible if we need more work to do, we'll be going in and we'll do probably maybe just the lid part, insulate that, and drywall the lid. That's a possibility. Okay, there's a house we're going to be building. It's for Vicente and Cecilia Juarez's house. This is obviously another couple. What happened with this house is the house next door somehow got caught on fire and it burned their house down. Okay, and the houses were like within a couple feet of each other. So anyway, we're going to build them a new house. Same thing there. He's putting in the slab foundation and stuff like that. We'll do the pad. Okay, that is Acuna. Moving on to El Cenizo. 3 and 4 trips back, 3 and 4 years back. If you remember, we worked in the community of El Cenizo. Did carnival stuff like that there. We're working in that area this year again. We're working at Faith Mission with David Burkett. Okay, most of our projects we're going to be doing is going to be on his facility, his area, his site. We're going to be also building a 28 by 70 foot dorm there. He has an existing 14 by 70 foot trailer. We're going to encase that and close that trailer. So we're going to build another 14 by 70 foot dorm alongside that. He's already in the process of demoing the inside of the trailer, and he's going to make that into dorms, I'm not sure what, restrooms, something like that. So when we're done, basically you'll see a 28 by 70 foot dorm when it's all done. You won't see the trailer inside. So also his sanctuary, large sanctuary, we're going to be painting on the outside. Inside the sanctuary he has an area that he needs a wall put in, dividing wall, so we're going to build and insulate a dividing wall. It's about I think it's about a 30-foot wall. He's got some areas there, restrooms need to be, walls need to be furred out, need to be drywall put on. We're going to work on that. And we're also going to work in community projects. We're probably going to do, first week, maybe 3 to 4 community projects, and second week, maybe 2, maybe 3 community projects, okay? So we're going to have teams going out and doing all of that, okay? And then moving on down to Rio Bravo, down to border, Rio Bravo border mission. Let me do Rio Bravo first. That's Ray Hanson's at the children's home. We're going to be putting a roof on his original building. I know you guys have been there before. As you go in, the back left building where he keeps his tools, stuff like that. That was the original building. It does not have the roof on it that the other buildings now have. He's changed over to a different type of roofing. So that's the last one that has not been roofed. So we're going to roof that building. It's a good-sized building. We're going to be building some pews there. If you remember last year, we built. We didn't build the house, but he had the block building we built the roof for. It was a 38 by 100 foot building, pretty good sized building. That's pretty much all done, okay? Wow. I think I got to get the tile in there yet, but there's a need for 8 sets of bunk beds, and so we're going to be building those for the house. Ray also, because of the lack of groups that have not been coming over the year, for whatever reason, he's fallen behind a little bit on the maintenance on the site, on the facility. So there's a lot of painting and things that needs to be done, so we're going to be doing that as well. Okay. Border mission, this is back across the border in Hidalgo. There's a place there right in the middle of the complex. It was Sister Morgan's house. Sister Morgan and her husband started this ministry, this border missions, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago. And shortly, I'm not sure, after that, he had died, and she just kept running her ministry. Now it's been handed down, like there's 2 more generations since then. We met her daughter and her granddaughter where we're down on a scout trip. So anyway, at that facility, we're going to be demoing Sister Morgan's old trailer. It's got a couple of rooms that fill on the side, so we've got like, I don't know, 20, 25 guys who's going to spend the whole day just getting rid of that building. They've got plans for that site. We'll go ahead and move from, those are the building projects, and it pretty much covers them all. I want to talk a little bit about the prep trip. December the 30th, I'll be leaving with 3 other guys, with Brian Albright, David Hafley, and Cody Gibbs. Okay, those are the same group I had last year. We leave anywhere from 12, 14 days, something like 12 days earlier than the group to get down and get all the projects ready. And so just to give you a little bit idea of what we do is we pour the slabs. We cut out all the components. Let me back up just a little bit. Before I leave on the trip, I start my email. Actually, it's already done. I correspond with people down there to, hey, this is what I need. This is the projects we're doing. This is the materials I need. This is what I need to deliver. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff involved in that. So that's already sent down. So when we get to the sites, they already know what needs to be there and when it needs to be there. Okay, so we do the slabs. We cut out all the truss components. We make up a template truss. Might be a gable or just another truss, whatever. We cut out all the wall components. So basically, when you guys get there, it's just like a puzzle. You just have to start putting it together. Okay, and so like
a jigsaw.
Pardon me?
Jigsaw puzzle?
What?
A jigsaw puzzle?
Yeah, jigsaw puzzle. No, actually, it's pretty well organized, and But anyway, just to give you an idea, like the first day when you start out, we've got a group of guys out of this 25 guys that building the church. There's like 10, 12 guys building walls, 10, 12 guys building trusses, you know, and then when the walls go up, most of the trusses are built, you start setting up trusses, and then by the end of the day, you actually have the trusses all set. So we'll build the walls, set the trusses, plumb line, everything the first day, okay? Next day, we start doing siding and things like that. I'm getting off here a little bit. Anyway, those are some of the things that we do, and in El Cenizo, basically the same thing there. Okay, the projects there, we'll be doing cutting the trusses, you know, components for the walls, things like that. When we get down to Rio Bravo, there's just a few things on the building that we're going to be doing. Before I forget to say it, I want to make sure you know on the building, it's a 2-story. It's not a high-pitched roof, it's like a 412 pitch, something like that. But we're going to be wearing safety harnesses for the guys that's going to be along the edges. We've never done that before, but this particular building, because of the height, the board just felt that we needed to do something. So we're going to be wearing safety harnesses on that building. And so we're going to have like 14 guys on that building. There's going to be a lot of guys, but we're going to organize where we're safe. But one of the things the prep trip has to do for that is, I don't know if you guys know what a rake at the gable, there's no overhang on the end of the building, okay? So we need to cut back in, put some output blocks and extend the rake overhang, okay? So that's one of the things the prep trip's going to do. The fascia's got to be replaced, put on. These are things that has to be done before you guys get there. The goal on any of these projects for me is that we can hit the ground running, and 2 days later or 4 days later, whatever it is, we are where we need to be, okay? If you guys had to do this on this trip, we wouldn't get anywhere near where I would like for us to be. So the prep trip is very important, the things that they do there.